Good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. But anyway, before we start, good morning, good morning. For those who is gonna watch us in the recording, good time of the day. My name is Tania. I've been here a few times. I'm a leadership and life design coach, a facilitator, and an educator. And the topic that we're gonna talk about today is one of the core topics that I work with: purpose and meaning. Because in my opinion, purpose encompasses everything that we do, and when we have a stronger sense of purpose in our life, in our work, in any element, right, of our life, we feel much more happiness, much more calm, much more joy, because we are, I like to call it executing our purpose. So today we're gonna try and draft the purpose statement, as I call it, and it's a very practical exercise. It's not only for you, your personal life, but it's also great for you in your career development, because knowing your purpose and knowing how to speak about your purpose, speak from the place of purpose, will really help you in your career development as well. Or if you're changing jobs, if you are changing roles in the company, or in general, if you are crafting your job environment, like the way you act on day-to-day basis, for example. The first question before we start, I would then ask you a question. What do you do? Like, what do you do on day-to-day basis? Is a job?
Okay, so is that career wise or generally? What do I do?
Yeah, like that, career wise, we start with that, because we want to I want to keep it practical today, so we will use career, we will use work as an example.
Okay, so day to day, make sure that our social media posts for Lumohubs are scheduled and they are ready to go out. I check on our community members and I just follow up on whatever is needed to do. So I basically my checklist is the post, community members, and students, following up with what's happening with them and all of that.
Great. Yeah, like managing the community, being the mother to the community.
Exactly.
Yeah. And why does this matter to you? This what you're doing, why does this matter? How does it feel?
Okay, because Lumo Hubs is a community, and so if we're not checking in constantly, we are not making sure that we are visible to our community members. Obviously, there are sometimes they might forget, so it's like we have to just remind them we are here for you, and we have your back and all of that.
Yeah. So you really can see the purpose of what you're doing, and this is important. So, this is the first practical thing that you can take, right? I'm referring to everyone who will be watching this recording, for example, asking yourself, what do I do? For example, at my work, and why does it matter, right? Does it even matter to me? Why does it matter? And even knowing the answer to the question, why does it matter, is very important, because it already gives you an additional motivation to keep on going, right? So I'm sure that you will agree. I see something in the chat. Okay. Oh yeah, hello Victoria. Work on motion graphics videos and AI animation videos. Yeah, welcome. You joined us as well. Thank you for sharing. Can you answer the question to yourself, or you can share in the chat? Why does it matter to you? Do you understand why it matters? I will Today I will guide you through a little roadmap, right? Little set of exercises that you can do for yourself in order to create a purpose statement, right? So why let's start with a point. Why do we need a purpose statement, right? What is there for us? Why is it so important? Because we hear it a lot, right? Purpose, purpose, purpose. And sometimes, even for me, even if I'm working in the field, but sometimes for me it feels too much, feels like, oh, purpose, it's something so big, and I'm already overwhelmed with my day-to-day tasks. But it's actually very, very important, right? As I write here, the purpose is the infrastructure of how we perform, how we live, how we lead. So the science proves it, right? Has been so much research on purpose and the importance of understanding your personal purpose, your work purpose, your professional purpose, right? And aligning them, right? So that they're not conflicting, but they are creating this foundation for yourself together. So some data here, right? So for those of you who like data, I love data. I love to have the research as well. So 87% of professionals cannot connect their work to sense of purpose. This has been one of the latest research by Gallup organization. So which is very sad, right? 87% don't understand why their work matters to them. But it does not necessarily mean that they don't have a purpose, then see the purpose in their work. It might mean that they've never ever asked themselves this question. That's why we are doing these exercises today, so that you can ask yourself the question. I see you, I feel you. 5.6 times more engaged the employee, the person is, when he or she has a strong sense of purpose. 5.6 times more engaged, right? So, which also proves when you understand why your work, your life matters, when you have the feeling of purpose, you are more engaged, you're more motivated to make it happen. Like I'm sure you will agree with me. And even especially in the times of challenge, in the times of change, in the times when things are not working. Like I can speak from my perspective. I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself, and I'm always in this constant battle. I don't want to use the word battle though, but in this constant process of um, finding clients, right? But say being visible so that the right audience will find me. And I face a lot of rejection because this is the entrepreneurial life. I face a lot of rejection, a lot of no's, a lot of ghosting. But I know why I'm doing this. I know what is important for me. I have a very strong sense of purpose, and I want to execute my purpose through my work. That's why no matter how many no's I will receive, I will still keep on pushing. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes easier, but I know for sure that this sense of purpose keeps me engaged. So I don't give up. So I hope it makes sense. And eventually, 17% is proven, right? Reduced mortality risk for people with high purpose in life, which there is also research that people who have a sense of purpose in life, they're also healthier, they sleep better, they experience less stress on a day-to-day life because they become more resilient, right? So just to prove that understanding your purpose is important. And when I talk about purpose, right, what do I mean by purpose? Because there are so many definitions, right? What is purpose? Most people think that purpose is something so big, is something so much bigger than us, and it's something very exclusive just for those people who have time and capacity to think about it. But the science, the positive psychology, right, like very day-to-day applied science, defines purpose as the combination of your unique strengths, your unique talents, your skills, and the execution of it in order to create a bigger effect, something bigger than you, right? In order to leave some legacy, let's say, right? So purpose is not necessarily something huge and big. Right? It's not necessarily the purpose, like, I don't know, save everyone or become the doctor without borders and save lives of thousands children. It's an amazing purpose, but it's not necessarily the one for each person, right? So sometimes I have a lot of clients who eventually they define their purpose, and it's always bigger than you, right? It's always about me making some change, some positive change in the world, but through the ways of doing it can be very different. Yeah, someone might become a doctor and save lives, but someone might just become a mother and raise good humans, right? And then they will pass the legacy like this. It can also be a sense of purpose. But when we are talking about purpose, applied purpose, when we are talking about purpose in work, because today I want to stay in this career work area because it's very applicable, professional purpose, let's call it like this. In this case, it's very, very important to understand it's a combination of your unique strengths, your talents, your skills, things that very, very unique, very individual to you, and the ways to execute it, right? Because you are not executing on your purpose if you are very, very skilled in something, but you don't use these skills on a day-to-day basis, right? Because you are doing completely different things. So yeah, this just important. I hope it's clear. If not, please write in the chat or take a mic and let me know if it rings the bell, the things that I'm saying. So again, purpose, the infrastructure of how we perform, lead, and live, right? Knowing, understanding who I am here and what is that I want to bring to the world, right? I will put it like this. This is the sense of purpose. So I say something in the chat. It's clear. Okay, thank you. Great. So let's go. As we are talking about these things through the prism of design thinking always, right? We try to use it as a very applied way of being, of doing, of executing. Purpose has three elements, and it's important to say, right, like the purpose is not found. There is a philosophical way of seeing purpose, right, that says you have to find it, you have to think about your life, you have to remember something from your childhood, for example, and then you find your purpose. So you have to do a lot of actions. I'm not saying that it's not true, but I am from a different group of people. It's more like applied day-to-day science, and we believe that the purpose is designed. It is designed as with a foundation of what you know about yourself, right? So first you need to really understand yourself very well. What is important for you? What are your skills? What are your strengths? What are your dreams? What are your talents, right? So this self-knowledge, and then by knowing that, you can design your purpose, and purpose can change, right? Purpose can change. Something that felt purposeful in your 20s will feel different in your 40s. Again, I will use my example. I In my 20s, I was in the creative sphere and creative area. I was traveling the world because I'm freedom is one of my values. I really love freedom. So I left corporate, very very secure path. I left it despite that it was not easy, but I always wanted to be free. I was a creator, I was a photographer, I had a creative agency, I was traveling the world. It felt so good, it felt so purposeful that I'm making people happier with my work, because I realized that my purpose is to make people happy, and I was doing it. But in my late 30s, my sense of purpose changed completely because I became a mother, because I got tired, I grew up, many things changed. My essence of my purpose still stays the same. I really want to make people happier, but the way I was doing it completely changed, right? I left my creative career, I stopped traveling so much, and now I'm trying to make people happier by different type of work. So I just want to show you the example that your purpose might change. It doesn't mean that you write a statement today, or you write a draft of your statement, you understand what is important for you today, doesn't mean that in 10 years it will stay the same. And this is okay, this is normal, because we change, and our purpose also, like, right, it's very flexible and it changes with us. But it's always important to check in with yourself at every stage of life. That's why everything that I'm giving you today, and every time we meet, this is something that you can reapply. This is something that you can think about, reflect in a few years, in a few months, whenever you feel that is needed. So, talking about this, there are three elements, right, that will help us to understand and to craft. I don't even want to use the word understand that much, because what we're going to do today, we're going to draft, we're going to write down the statement, right? Something that feels true to you, what your professional purpose is at this stage of life. And then you can reconsider it, you can reflect on it, but I really want you to draft. I'm using draft, right? Something that already comes today that you can work with, and you can check whether what you are doing on day-to-day basis is actually helps you to execute your purpose, or maybe you're not doing it. And in this case, please don't get me wrong, because many people say, oh, okay, so now what, I leave my job because it's not purposeful. I'm not saying this, because before before you resign, let's say, right, before you say, okay, it doesn't work for me, I'm going to change everything. I mean, reality, we know the job market is really hard everywhere in the world. I'm in Europe, it's extremely hard. I'm sure that in Africa it's the same. So it's not like straight away change your job. It's not that easy. We can always craft, right? We can try to craft the elements of that I feel more purposeful for us in our day-to-day life, in our work that we are doing, or in the ways that we do the work, right? So, or if our job does not give us the sense of purpose, we should try to find something on the side, like, I don't know, volunteering, maybe some side project, a hobby, something that will help us feel to have more sense of purpose, right? This is like, it's not ideal, but it also works. But I really, really want to support you, right, in trying to find this in your work as well, because I'm sure if we look deeper, we can find those elements in everything that you do, or in the ways that you do, or maybe you make small changes and it can start working for you. But more about it later. Before that, before we start crafting, I just want to stop here, right? I said, like, we are doing everything through design thinking, and you know that in design thinking there are certain elements, right, like a roadmap of everything that we are doing, and it's emphasizing, defining, and prototyping, right? So the same works with purpose statements. Emphasizing, as I said, you explore your own story for patterns, something that you ignore or something that you don't think of. Just deep self-knowledge, as I said. What are my talents? What are my skills? What are my strengths? What am I not executing on day-to-day life, right? Maybe I have strong sides that are not being used, but they still make a part of my purpose. Then we define, right? We find some thread, something that connects all those elements, and this will actually help you create the purpose statement. And prototyping, we draft a statement, and then you can test it, as I said, and you can refine it. You can see, reflect on it, you can rethink it and see if it works for you or not. How clear is what I'm saying now? I want to offer you a little exercise. It's you see, it's 6 minutes only, and I really, really, really ask you to do it live, and I will do it with you as well, for myself, just not to keep an awkward silence. It's called a story mining, right? So the easiest thing is just to respond to those 3 questions. Just for yourself, write it down somewhere. What moment in your life made you feel most like yourself? Just think about the moment when you felt, wow, I am living my life. This is me. This is so much me. What were you experiencing? What was happening then, right? What emotions you had? The second question is that what problem in the world bothers you in a way you cannot ignore, right? What bothers you? Something that's so unfair, and it just feels like, yeah, I want this I want this to change. And the third question: when people come for you to help, what do they actually come for? Like, think about, what do your friends ask you about, right? What do your co-workers ask you about? What is there? So these three questions are very important to answer them, and then this will be like the foundation of the next steps that we're gonna do. So yeah, I think let's take 6 minutes and just write it down. If you want to share afterwards, please feel free. I really want someone to share, because then we can, I can coach you on that. But at least write it down for yourself. Just take your time. Let's do 6 minutes and write the 3 answers to 3 questions, please. Okay, how is it for you? Thank you very much for sharing. What did you notice when you wrote it? Do you already see some thread, something that connects these 3 answers? Because this is what we are searching for, right? You need to look across 3 answers and think about word or phrase that is there, or maybe it's hiding behind it, something like a theme. So this is the thread that we are looking for. I'm not sure of the theme yet. Okay, it will come, but let's see what Victoria is. I see some connections. Yeah, I see some connections. Exactly. You will start seeing the connections. I will share my example as well, so that it makes sense what we are talking about. When I was doing this exercise for the first time, and now as well, when do I feel most like myself? What the first thing that comes to me is a circle of people sitting around campfire, right? So like I go sometimes to this to circles, right, when we are sharing stories. We're talking about different topics, and not necessarily about specific area. Sometimes it's business, sometimes it's life, sometimes philosophy, sometimes books. And I love the circles when we're sitting around campfire at night and we are talking, right? So I'm around people. So this makes me feel like, yeah, My purpose is be with people somehow, and sharing stories. What problem in the world bothers me, that I cannot ignore? There are many, but something that I always come back to is that, people who are not living their own lives, right, in a way that they don't know what lives they live in, and they're unhappy. I It's very, very hard for me to meet people who are not living the life. They just go in with the flow. They don't feel. Like, if you ask this person, like, do you feel alive, many of them will say, I don't know if I'm alive. What is alive, right? So and it can be changed. It can be changed. Again, like, purpose really helps with that, because otherwise it's just, days go by, day by day, and people go with the flow. They don't really know what life they're living and leading. And when people come to me, when I'm thinking about my friends who come to me, they ask my opinion. They ask, they ask, they want to be heard. They just want, because I'm a good listener, so they want to talk to me. They just sharing something, and they're open and sharing their vulnerable parts, sides, and everything. So all these, eventually, if you can see, right, I work as a coach, and the coach is someone who listens. I don't give my opinion, but I can reflect with a person and support a person. So it, like, when I responded to these questions, a few years ago, when I was pivoting to a new career direction, this is what came up, and I realized that I need to work with people. I want to work with people, and my purpose is to help people feel alive, in a way, help people understand themselves, so that they can change something in their lives in a way that they will feel alive. They will feel happy and joyful by waking up every morning, and not feel like, oh, my life is just passing by and I'm going with the flow. So does it make sense? So this is how it helped me. This exercise helped me drastically, because I was changing. I was thinking about my next step, how I will do it, right? So what will I do? And this was very, very, very powerful. So just the way it works. So the prototype statement, right? Now we need to weave it all together, right? So you already had some. Let me see the chat. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. And Victoria said, for me, the theme would be African solution or African ginger. Oh, interesting. What is African ginger? Nice. Nice. Uh, you start getting some ideas. So what do we do? What do we do to need? What do we need to do now? Sorry, we need to write one sentence only, up to 15 words. So don't write the whole paragraph, just a sentence. It should connect who you are, what you care about, and what you want to create in the world. And please don't strive for perfectionism now. You can refine it later, but the first thing you already write, this is like the answer to your questions, but now we need to put it in one sentence. For example, right, I am Tanya. I'm talking from the professional perspective. I'm Tanya. I am a leadership coach. I care about people living their authentic life, and I want to support them in designing this authentic life. So this would be my purpose statement. So yeah, I invite you now to write it through the prism of your answers, what you already have. Write it down for yourself. Also take 2 minutes and put it all together. If at some point you feel stuck, you feel like, oh yeah, I don't know how to put it together, it's totally normal. It's actually a good sign, because if you feel that you are stuck, you can't really articulate it well enough, it means that you have to really look deeper there. You have to, yeah, struggling a bit. What makes you struggle? Can you maybe take a mic so that we can do it live? Because this is important. Read in the chat. I'm Victoria, an African woman who is invested in providing African solutions, especially in the areas of education, storytelling, and tech, while having a barrack of such persons in my community. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. And you see what you're also doing, that you're almost saying how you execute. Seems long and still getting it together. Yeah, of course. This is just the first draft. You can take it one step further, which will turn it into your elevator pitch, right? So if you are networking, if you are, I don't know, at the conference, if you are even having a job interview, or you're talking with potential partner, depending on what you're doing, this will help you, right? Just really, really short and concise pitch of who you are and what your work is about or what your business is about. You can take it even one step further by adding the ways of doing this, like, right? So I'm Victoria, an African woman who is invested in providing African solutions, especially in the areas of education, storytelling, and tech, by, and here you add a sentence, by doing what you do, right? Your role, or how do you provide these solutions? Because, for example, when I'm talking about myself, right, I support people in designing the lives worth living by coaching, facilitation, by workshops and education, right? So I'm adding another element, which you can also do it when you are refining your purpose statement. And as I said, it will turn it into a very good pitch for yourself that way you can use and reuse in many, many occasions. Yeah. How is it, like, interested, you were struggling a bit, how is it now? Does it make sense? Where are you struggling? I'm happy to help you out if you share more insights. Narrowing down is where the struggle is. I guess it depends on context, because I do a lot work wise. Yes, exactly. Narrowing it down will help you to really get the most important part, right? The purposeful part. Because if you're doing a lot of things work wise, there is something that connects all of it, right? So we don't need to name all kinds of things, right, that you're doing work wise. But as I said at the very beginning, why is it meaningful to you, right? And I reframed it in a way. I said, you're like the mother for the community, right? Because you keep it all alive, you keep everyone informed. So this is important. It's not about writing messages and doing social media posts. It's more about keeping people informed, right? Or creating this, building this information hub for them. For example, this is already narrowing it down. It kind of encompasses everything that you do. So try to play around with it and think what connects all the activities, all the things that you're doing. What is the bigger sense, bigger meaning, right, for that? Why are these, the question that will ask, or that will help you, is why is this important? Why is this important to you? Why is it important for your job, right? Why is it important for the project? So there you can find the purpose by purpose behind everything that you do. So as I said, it's just a draft. So think about it and ask yourself, why is it important? Why is it important? Why is it important? Okay, I see more of you typing. Let me wait for the comments to come in the chat and then we continue. Thank you for sharing. African creative, passionate about using esports and gaming innovations to create opportunities and inspire growth within my community. I love it. Do you see that? It's so nice that all of you're sharing, and everything is about community, right? Like each individual purpose, but it all connected to other people in the community. Same for me. So yeah, I get even goosebumps, because like it resonates a lot. So this is already purpose. You see it because, as I said at the beginning, right? Purpose is something bigger than you. It's kind of a legacy, some positive impact, hopefully positive, right? Because can be also negative, but hopefully it's positive impact that you are having on the community, on the small community, big community. It's very individual. But yes, how is it? Please send some reaction or maybe just a chat. Is it clear, right? What we are doing? No matter, even if you're struggling a bit to narrow it down, to put it in a one short sentence, it's fine. But just the connection, right, of what you are doing, your talents, what you're good at, what people asking you, right? You can also add it. You are not adding it here, as I see, but think about it. How can you also weave this part? The third question there was, right? If people come to you and they're asking you for help or something, why do they come to you? So this can help you to add the second part, right? By the way you are executing your purpose, right? Like by I'm doing this for this, by doing this and this, right? So this can be a part that will help you. How do you perfect, yeah, your purpose statement. And before I say that, I just want to stop here. Why is it important to actually have the purpose statement, and why is it important to perfect it, right? Just because then the purpose statement becomes your declaration. And um, I don't want to go into very deep into neurobiology now, but just trust me out, right? It's very, very, very important, and it's proven. When you can articulate, when you can speak it out loud, say it out loud, your purpose, your declaration, it becomes your declaration, something that you declare in the world. Your brain acts differently. Your brain gets more motivation, gets more clarity, gives you more energy. It's proven. Like I'm not, as I said, I'm not getting deep into science, but just take it as a fact. When you say it out loud, and especially to yourself, you can use it as, like you can say it out loud every morning when you wake up, and before you start your work, you just say it. I am these, and these, and I'm doing this by this, right? So this is my purpose, and I'm acting on it. Trust me, you will feel the difference, even if your body and your levels of energy and how motivated you are. So remember about your purpose. Remember and say it out loud. This will support you in day-to-day work as well. And as I said at the beginning, so many challenges, setbacks, but this is very, very supportive. How do you perfect your purpose statement, right? So this is the flip test. So what you can do, you read it out loud. Like, you don't need to do it now, but just know that you can do it to yourself. Read it out loud and hear yourself out. What do you feel? What is the reaction? Does it sound like you, or it sounds like LinkedIn headlines? So like, or AI who wrote this for you? Like, you should sound like you, right? So it's, as I said, don't try to make it perfect. It's not going to be published anywhere. Does it sound like you? Do you believe yourself when you say it? Could anyone in the room have written it? If yes, then it's not yours, right? Again, it should be very, very you. Cross out every word you're using to sound smart, right? Again, just like AI check. Cross out the words that look nice. What is left? So this will help you to rewrite your statement. So if you want, you can do it now. If not, just know that this is the way to perfect it, to make it better. And I already explained why it's important to have it. It's like a declaration, to declare it to the world. So yeah, as I said, your next practice that you can do, like you can try to do, like first draft it and then read it out loud every morning, like wake up or before you start your working day, and notice what happens, notice what comes to you, maybe new ideas, maybe new thoughts about it, maybe you want to change and rewrite something. Pay attention to it, and this will help you to rewrite it. So yeah, this was it. These were all the exercises and the little roadmap that I wanted to demonstrate you. And yeah, we end with this inspiring quote that you probably spent years optimizing someone else's story, right? Because now you have the first draft of your own, and as I said, you can use it in so many ways. First, to teach your brain to believe that this is who you are, this is what you are doing, and by this is important for you. But also, if you might happen that you write this down and you realize that your work has nothing to do with your purpose, right? And this is also okay. And as I said, before we change the job, before we change the industry completely, let's try and see what can I do more, or what I can stop doing and add to my work, for example, or even the way I lead, the way I am with other people, for example, right? The way I show up at my company or in my business. Maybe I can do it through the prism of my own purpose, and this can also help. If not, then yeah, of course, then there should be a bigger change. But we can always try to craft things around. Just do the best, right? Because this is where we are in control, or add things around it, right? So I have a client who is the data analyst, and she she likes her work, she likes her job, it pays well, and she likes the process, right? She likes the process of gathering data, analyzing, creating reports. She's really good at that, but it's not her purpose. She doesn't see it, she doesn't find any purpose in what she's doing. She's just doing it because she's good in it. This is like it's also like it's hard to say that it's not her purpose, because it's her talent. It's her skill, she's good in that. But it would not be something like, she always felt that this is something that she needs, she wants more, she's not having enough, because the job pays well, she's not bored, but she feels that there's something more to it. And eventually in our work, she discovered that yes, exactly, like she's very passionate. She's very passionate about teenagers, people like new generation and education. She really wants to do something in that area. So she still keeps her day job that pays well, that she's good at, but she added a little bit. So now she's volunteering at a school, at an international school, just 2 hours a week. She's teaching teenagers. She's teaching them data science, and she feels so much happier. She feels so much joy. She didn't change much with her job, but she added a little bit on the side, just a few hours a week. That is 100% her life and professional purpose. She weaved these things together. So her, let's say, supporting young generation and her is her life purpose, but she added the elements of her professional work in that, and created a beautiful mix for herself, and now she feels so much happier. So this is what this is one of thousand ways of using this purpose, these exercises, this work that we were doing today, just to understand where you are, what is important for you, and check, does your job give you this, or can give you this, or maybe there's something else that you can do on the side or instead. So yeah, hope this was valuable, and this will be valuable for you. I wish you to really live the lives of purpose, really like find and execute your purpose on day-to-day basis, because this is something that makes us happier, and gives us more energy, gives us more resilience, gives us more support and motivation to move forward and to face any challenge that we are facing every day. So yeah, this was it for today. Thank you for your attention and for your presence here.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It was really valuable. Your sessions, of course, always, yeah, they have a lot of impacts in the long term. So thank you. And I'm just going to share your details. If someone wants to connect with you, you can always find her on Instagram, on LinkedIn. She shares valuable tips on Instagram. I know I always see your stories and I'm like, oh, I'm learning something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
when I share, I try to share something that will stay. But LinkedIn is good, because yeah, I'm more consistent on LinkedIn.
okay, yeah. So I shared both Instagram and LinkedIn, so they
Thank you
can
so
reach
much.
out to any of those platforms.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much, and thank you for your community for having me every month. It's my pleasure, and I really, really, really love supporting your community in the way I can. So any question, if you have any question or proposal, feedback, you want some specific topic to be covered, so please send me a message and I will bring it up.
No problem. Thank you so much. And yeah, so we are going to keep working on that first draft and make sure it's ours.
Yeah, yeah. Please make sure that it's yours, and make sure that you do every day. You do something that feels purposeful, like even if it's a little thing.
Okay. And thank you everyone for joining. I am glad I see Victoria. You said it was very, very valuable. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And if you haven't, Tanya joins us every month. So you could go to the replays and section and you would find, the her former sessions. There's always something to learn from her.
Yeah, thank you
Fufu
so
said
much. Value
value
plus.
plus plus. That's it's great to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Have a good
everyone.
day.
Yes, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.